Hi everybody, this is Julia. Welcome to the Stitchergurl Podcast. I'm coming to you today from Moncton, New Brunswick. It is Sunday, April the 25th, 2020. And I'd like to give a warm welcome to all the new viewers out there and a warm welcome back to all my subscribers. It's so nice to spend some time with you today. So, the plan of attack is the following. I have notes. Blast from the past. I've got an FO, and yes, that's not a joke. Whips, haul, plans, a shout out, and yeah, I think that's it. It's been about 3 weeks, I think, since my last podcast. This is episode 9 today, so this is great. And I will put the information in here somewhere so you can know how to get in touch with me. You can reach me on Instagram, and you can also send me an email. So let's get to that blast from the past. Blast from the past. So I thought it would be very fitting today, in light of recent events, if I showed a piece that I worked on at an Embroidery Association of Canada seminar that took place in Truro, Nova Scotia in 2005. I think we've all heard about what's been going on in the news. I'm calling it a massacre. And it is, I can't even digest what happened a week ago. I am so bereft and so bereft. All we can do is pray and keep all those lost, all those who have lost loved ones in our hearts. This is a really tough time, not only for the people in Nova Scotia, but for all Canadians. Nova Scotia has a very special place in our hearts. And I'm wearing some Nova Scotia tartan here today as a memorial to those that we have lost. This piece was a 4-day workshop with Mary Sustrick. She's Scottish by birth, so she tickled me for 4 days. And it was called Create, Paint, and Stitch a Landscape. This piece was based on a photograph that I took in Newfoundland, but it could have easily been anywhere in Atlantic Canada. There are lupins. There is islands off in the distance, out in the ocean. Wildflowers, trees, rocks. It could very well be in Nova Scotia. And I'm very proud of this. This was quite something. My first seminar piece. It was 4 days. This is surface embroidery, of course. So I had been doing, I think, a lot of counted embroidery up until that point. So this was definitely out of my comfort zone. And the fact that we painted the cotton fabric first. So this mountain, the ocean here, this road, all that was painted first. And then we learned how to do the surface stitching on top. And This is just a Zeller's frame that I found. Remember Zeller's, people, where the lowest price is the law. Yeah, so this is a very special piece to me, and I thought I would bring it out and share it with you. This is Blast from the Past, 15 years ago. Where has the time gone? Okay, so how about some whips? I don't know where to start with the whips, but there's a lot of whip excitement here. So let's start off with a SAL that I'm doing with Tempting Tangles. There's a Facebook group, and it is the Mystery Scotland Quaker SAL. I hope that's correct. Tempting Tangles has done some other country Quaker mystery SALs. I know there definitely is the Netherlands, I believe, and Japan. There might be some others. And you can actually, once the SAL is over, then the pattern gets published and then you can buy it. But week 4 just came out, and it's 16 weeks. It's a 16 part SAL, and it will be going until October. And this is where I am right now. So I'm doing this on fog. Picture this plus fog. 28 count. And I've started the third part where you see the red. That's part of the third. And the fourth was just released yesterday. So I'm enjoying that. And this fog is nice because it's not too white. And all the threads fell on the floor. Very professional podcaster. Thank you very much. Anyway, so I'm really enjoying that. I'll put the link down below on how you can find that Facebook page. Yeah, so that's a lot of fun, and that's something that, you know, every 2 weeks a new part comes out. Mary Clayton, Hands Across the Sea. This is my girl, Mary Clayton. I'm doing this on a piece of R&R, 32 count. It's called Celebration. I think that's a discontinued colorway. And I did a conversion to Gentle Arts, which made things that much more challenging. But, you know, I like a little challenge. Now, how am I going to show this? Because it's a square. And it's not ironed. Okay, Mary Clayton. Now, I've been working down here, working on the name, filling in the house. That's apple cider that I'm using for the house. Now, I had left the house for so long because this weekend I was supposed to be going on a stitching retreat with my mom. The local needlework shop in Moncton, because you count, they were having their spring retreat this weekend. And because of recent stuff, it got canceled. And so I said, well, I guess I better start filling in that house. Because that was going to be great stitching, retreat stitching, you know, just filling in something fairly mindless. Anyways, I'm really happy with that. I was hoping to get a push on that to get her finished by the end of the month, but maybe not. Maybe not, but I'm really enjoying that, and it's a really cute sampler. I mean, to think about the, you know, she was 9, and her use of color I thought was quite good, and quite good use of color. It's balanced. And for a 9-year-old, I'm very impressed. Fantastic. Now, what else? Gratitude. Cottage garden. Gratitude. This was my Lenten project where I was going to try and work on it a bit every day for Lent. And then I found out that I'm not a monogamous stitcher. There are too many like shiny things out there. And so I kept getting distracted and wanting to do other things. But I have been enjoying this and it's coming along really nicely. I'm doing this on a platinum 36 count. 1 thread over 2, but in a couple of places I'm doing 2 threads. 2 threads over 2. Like the bird, the black there. I did that 2 strands to really make that stand out. And at the bottom where this basket is coming across, that darker color, I'm doing it in 2 strands because I want to give some definition here to the basket. I think it's grapevine, but I'm not using the weeks. I'm doing the DMC 3781, and when you only do the 1 strand, it doesn't really pop. So I'm doing 2 strands there so I get some definition in my basket. But I've been enjoying this. Lots of fun. I ended up doing I'm doing mostly DMCs for this because oh, that's nice, Julia. Because I found the way the design is, I didn't feel like you would be able to pick up a lot on the variegation of the hand-dyed flosses. So I've done a lot of DMC here. Gratitude. This is my word of the year, gratitude. Being thankful. Giving thanks. Being mindful of gratitude. So yeah, so that's been fun. Now, what else have we got to show you? Well, I've been attempting, let's see, I'm doing a Stacy Nash. This is my first Stacy Nash. It's very exciting. It is Eliza Poole. Isn't she the cutest thing ever? And it called for Creek Bed Brown by R&R, but I'm doing it on Ale by Picture This Plus. It is a 28 count, and I'm doing it 1 over 1 because I'm Cocoa Puffs crazy. But you have to try it once, right, in your life. And this is where I am. Here. This is where I am. This ale is a really nice color. This is, it's a Lugana, which is great for, you know, I think it, for the first time doing 1 over 1, an even weave is the way to go because everything is nice and even, as it's called, even weave. And I was having trouble here with my house. The called for was parchment by Weeks, and it's not, the house is not popping like it is here. So this is what the parchment looks like. And for whatever reason, I had the 712 DMC pulled, and I think I was alternating the two at one point to see if I could do some kind of a crazy, like, old weathered house. And then no, it looks wonky. But I just love this 1 over 1. It is so delicate. It is so sweet. And I think it just suits Miss Eliza Poole to a T. Anyways, I'm going to have to rip out that 1/1. So I'm going to need some cider, I think, before I even attempt that. So that was great. So I'm really enjoying that. Stacy Nash. Now, this past week was Earth Day, and that was the day I decided to start And a Forest Grew, Karen Kubler, Rosewood Manor. This is what you would call a big-ass project. It is 400 stitches wide by 210 length. 210 this way. And that's going to be a big piece of fabric. So what happened was I decided I'm going to try, this is going to be my first attempt working on 40 count. Because I can get it on a fat quarter. If I get a fat quarter, a 40 count, this project is going to fit on it. So I got some platinum Zweigart. I got this from 123 Stitch. Started it the other day on, was Wednesday Earth Day? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not good at that stuff. When you work night shift, all the days blend in together, let me tell you. I start one day, like I was explaining to a resident, I said, I get confused sometimes because I started on the 24th, but when I go home, it's the 25th. So here we go. This is my start. And it is so fine and so petite. Oh my God. Isn't it the cutest? The friggin' birds, though, can have 3 or 4 colors in them. So that's a bit of a pain in the butt, right? Like, if you look on the front here, these red birds, I'm calling them cardinals. I don't know if they're cardinals or not. But the color for the belly was supposed to be, I didn't have that color. So I used the one closest to it, and it was some kind of a gold DMC. Oh, I'm coming apart here. And I didn't like the look of it. So I ripped that out. Ripping out in 40 count too. I'm telling you. I'm just doing it all. And I just like the look of that better. My counting got a little frigged up in here, but that's okay. It still kind of looks like the picture. And so this tree, now there's another bird that comes here, and when I do that bird, this is like halfway down. Halfway down. This, remember, it was 210 vertical. And so that means I will have halfway, the piece will be halfway down. So that's kind of cool. I know a lot of people are doing this, a lot of different SALs out there. The SAL is, I think, And a Forest Grew, but there's other SALs out there too doing this piece. And so this was my Earth Day start, 2020. I don't know how many Earth Days it's going to take me to do this, but it's phenomenal. I'm not doing the biblical quotes here. I'm changing those out. I'm changing them out. And I've got an Emily Carr quote. And there's another poem I found. I didn't want something too religious there. Sometimes you want the religious stuff. Sometimes you don't. And this here is a photocopy of all the charts. This is my working copy this is my working copy of all the DMC floss. And my mom went through and she looked and see, you know, she went through her stash, gave me what she had. Then I had some, and then I just put in a big order recently with Because You Count to get a whole bunch. And then I still didn't have like certain ones that I wanted. I tried to get all the ones that were on the first couple of pages, but anyways, It's all good. It's all good. It's fun. It's great. And now I'm calling myself a 40 count diva. Mm-hmm. Yes. So I'm enjoying that. So that's good fun. Now, Sally Spencer, Birds of a Feather. Discontinued chart. I'm sorry to tell you. It's no longer available. It's out of print. It's out of print. I don't know the backstory if this has been reproduced based on an antique sampler or if this is an original design. It called for sampler threads. It called for meadowlark, birds of a feather fabric. I guess they did fabric at one time. The only called for I used was Brethren Blue of the Gentle Arts. The others I used cherry wine, chocolate brown, or dark chocolate, I think it's called, cameo pink, flax, and peacock. And this is my finished object. Oh my freaking gods. Isn't that spectacular? Now, I ran out of some of the fancy floss while I was doing this. So I just used like DMC equivalents. So I think there's a lot of, is it DMC 3371 for the brown? Now, initials. This is very important. I've kind of turned this into a family sample. Well, of all my immediate, I'm going to say my immediate family, female relations. And so, because if you looked on this chart, there's initials all over the place. And I don't know if there's a backstory to that either. So what I did for the initials was the following. My mother's initials, my two paternal, my paternal grandmother, my paternal grandmother, and then my great grandmothers. Yeah. Just go with it. It's all good. Okay, so over here we have SSS. That stands for Sarah Smith Sinclair. And then here we have ELL. Well, that is Elizabeth Lucas Linton. Those are my great grandmothers on my father's side. And my father's mother, Margaret Linton Sinclair. Then over here we have JLF, Julia Lewis Farrow. And then we have, where is it? ECB, Ellen Chalice Bumstead. Those are my mother's grandmothers. Did I say that right? They're my great-grandmothers. They're my mother's grandmothers. And then my mother's mother is Ellen Bumstead Farrow. And then my mother is here, Mary Farrow Sinclair. And I decided to keep Sally Spencer because this is her sampler. And what I did was the J and the S, my two initials, I put them in red so they would stand out. So we have my great-grandmother's, my grandmother, and my mother's initials on this. As well, the lady I got the chart from, now remember this came from Japan, the chart. It was some kind of eBay, Japanese version of eBay. And the woman sent me two charms. So here, I believe that's like a starling sparrow. Can you see that there? And then there's a 4-leaf clover here. I put the 4-leaf clover on the Sinclair sign because that's where I get my good Irishness right there. Or my hot mess, whatever you want to call it. Irish, hot mess. It's all good. Anyways, so that's that. So this is awesome. I'm so happy with this. And so now it would have to be fixed, pinned, stretched, whatever, and then go in a frame. But I'm very happy with that. I got so excited at the end. I would stay up all night just stitching. Like on the nights I wasn't working, I would just stay like and stitch like crazy person. But I'm so happy with the way that turned out. So much fun. And there was a SAL for this. It was led by Olivia at Pumpkin Hollow Quilts and Deborah at Canopied Stitches. And there are still people stitching this all the time. They started this last summer. I started this last summer once I got the chart. And a couple of things that I've learned from this is that this is a 22 count. This is an Irish DMC, whatever that stuff is called. And what I've learned from this is I'm never, life is too short to use cheapo fabric. Can I say that? Life is too short. Yeah, life is too short for that. And also, if you're going to work on 28 count, that means you're going to go through your fancy floss super fast. So this is why now I'm getting into the whole 36, 40 count groove. My fancy flosses will go farther. And as you can see, I've showed you quite a bit of I've showed you some picture of this plus fabric. I'm enjoying that fabric. I like the weave. I know it's a Swigart base, but I guess something with the dyeing process, it tightens up. It shrinks a little, so it's a very tight weave. So stitching 1/1, or I just really like that. And the weave on this wasn't very tight. And the way I stitch, I kind of pull a bit, and so I might distort the threads a little. So yeah. That's what I mean when I say cheapo, Supremo. But a very pretty color fabric. So yeah, so that was just woohoo! Woohoo! Happy finishes, everyone. So that was like woohoo! So that was great. So this is going to be my shout out to Because You Count. This is the local needlework shop in Moncton, New Brunswick. I believe it is the only Atlantic brick and mortar store in Canada. Now, I know there are some online businesses in the East Coast, but this is really our only brick and mortar. And so I've been doing my darndest to keep those people afloat during this COVID situation. Oh my Lord, it's great. You can call them, you can send them an email. They will, they'll help you out, find you what you need. They will ship it to you, and you can do curbside pickup. And it's just awesome. You just drive up to the door, you do a little honk honk, and the girls come out with your bag of goodies. It's just like a drug deal. I'm telling you, so much fun. Anyway, so I've been getting, I'll put all the information for Because You Count down there. And I have been getting materials organized. That's cherub plane right now. I've been getting my stuff organized for Stitch Mania because that is something I'm going to be doing. I'm going to do a special Stitch Mania a Stitcher Mania podcast. Yeah, whatever, Julia. Anyways, so I'm not going to talk about projects today. I'm just going to talk about some stuff I got at Because You Count. So, Because You Count, this is, they don't have a lot of 40 count, but they did have some 40 count in sand, which I need for a cute little sampler that I'll tell you about. in my next podcast. And you see what they do? They do these great little tags. So it has your stitch count, the size of the fabric, with your extra margins. And then, well, the price is on there too. But it also labels the color, the brand of the fabric, and then Jane, that's the name of the project. So that's great as long as you don't lose that piece of paper. It helps you keep a nice little record of what's going on. Anyway, so I'm so excited for that. Excited to use that 40 count. And then I knew they had this color in Picture This Plus because I was looking for something else, but whatever. Anyways, I wanted something purple and they only seem to have blues, but I said this is going to be perfect for this other project if they still have it. So this is 32 count. This is Dwarf Picture This Plus. Now this is linen. So this is going to be a great example to see how the dyeing process affects the linen. The color is stronger. The modeling is stronger. That's very true right there. You can see it. Whereas on the Lugana, it's going to be a lot lighter, a lot flatter. You're not going to get that punch. It's not going to be... It's just the way the dye, you know, the way the synthetic, like the Lugana, whatever it is it viscose, rayon? I don't know what it is in Lugana, but the synthetic fibers don't take the dye like the natural fibers do. So this is lots of fun, and there's going to be some orangey copper colored flosses going on here, so that's just going to be poof. So again, you know, the little tag, and they always stitch around the edges for us, which is great. Saves me. So when I get home, you know what I can do? I can stitch. I don't have to get out the sewing machine, make sure the needle is threaded and all that crap, right? You can just get going. Now, I got a couple of charts from, this is a Stash Unloading on Facebook. And Susan Eagle is somebody that I have bought from a couple of times. I believe she's in the Michigan area. Anyways, you know, I would consider her a reliable seller. So I got some bright needle patterns from her before, and I got another one. This is called the Elizabethan Garden Sampler. And Bright Needle likes to stitch 1/1, and this model is actually stitched 1/1. But you can do whatever you want, right? And yeah, the date on this is 2005. So I was happy to get that. That's really sweet. Excuse me, it's a sweet sampler. And then I got this Plum Street sampler. Pretty Pleasures, is that what it's called? Pretty Pleasure, 1759. I didn't realize this had to do with George and Martha Washington. But I do like the poem on here. It says, the verse, "These pretty pleasures might me move to live with thee and be thy love." And 1759 apparently is when George and Martha got married. And that verse is from a poem by Sir Walter Raleigh, "The Nymph's Reply to the Shepherd." Anyways, I like that. And then this is my first Plum Street in my collection. And it's an older one. Does it say what year? Oh, 2012. So yeah, so that's cute. So that's going in the stash. I forgot to show that I got the new edition of punch needle and primitive stitcher. I got this at Because You Count. Now, I don't know if you realize this, but if you don't live in the US, you cannot have this mailed to you. You can't get a subscription if you live outside the US and have it mailed to you. You could get the online subscription. So I have to buy it at a needlework shop. That is the very cute Chelsea and Priscilla's design on the front. And on the back, we have By Heart and Hand, Cecilia Turner. A lot of people have stitched this bunny. You've probably seen it. So cute. And then I just have, because I have to show you cute stuff, because we need things to make us happy, right? Lindy Stitches, Stephanie Webb. This hedgehog house, holy, 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 holy hedgehog. Isn't that the cutest little thing? That is sweet. But there's a lot of colors. It's very sweet, though. It's a very sweet design. It makes me happy when I look at Stephanie Webb's, Lindy Stitches design. They make me happy. So, I ordered a bunch of threads from my Stitchergurl friend, Chalet, who has an online shop, Creative Quarters, out in Vernon, BC. And I just had to add to the stash some fancy floss, right? Because you just never know when you're going to need a fancy floss. So this is Ocean Weeks, Orangina Classics. So it's orange and pink. And then when I got it, because I ordered these two as well, Goldfish and Pink Champagne, and it's kind of like the two of those together. Aura's Iris, hello. Purple, oh my God, I don't know. Oh, it's not, it's showing flat. Too bad. It is such a pretty purple color. Sorry. Lettuce leaf. Is that not fun? That is fun. Old Money. Muddy Puddle. It's like, think like rocks. Grays and taupes and stuff. Mustard Seed. And Holly Berry. Because you always need a red. Maybe they would look better like this. Oh. Yeah. Old Money. Muddy Puddle. I don't have enough hands. What else did I have to say? I showed you my haul. Oh, something new that I'm doing is I'm preparing all my flosses and I'm putting them on thread drops. So and a 4 screw. This is what I'm doing, guys. A la Nicole. There's like 20,000 greens in that pattern, but look at them. Isn't that fun? And so what I do is I just take a strand out, and then I have this little thread keep that I made, and then I just put all the colors on there that I'm using as I go along. I still have a ton to put on thread drops, but I kind of like that idea better. I did have a knitting project. This is the Pi Shawl that I started when I was in Vancouver, when I left Vancouver last fall. I'm making progress Knitting in a circle, let me tell you. This is it here. It's called the Starburst Pi Shawl. And I just finished row 88, and there's 114, and there's another big increase. And I've decided I'm going to run out of yarn now, but I'm just using sock yarn for this. And it's kind of hard to show because, is it easy? If I show it like this, you can see this is half of, I know it looks like nothing. It looks like I was making a hat and I got frigged up. I'd been into the friggin' cider or something. But, so when it's done, it's going to be, it's called a pie shawl because it's a circular shawl. It's a round shawl. And it's a very easy pattern though. Very, very easy pattern. This is just opal sock yarn. And it's going to have to, I'm going to need to put it on, they have something called wires for blocking wires. So you see how the needle right now, the needle is threaded on through the stitches. Well, you put these blocking wires through, you weave it through the edge of your piece, and then you pin it down on something so it can dry into that shape. So I'm going to need blocking wires to kind of help. So yeah, so that was fun. So I'm happy about that. I've been trying to knit a bit every day, a couple of rows. I feel like with everything that's going on in the world, sometimes stitching, I get too excited when I stitch. And my mind just goes, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This 1/1 is so exciting. And so what I do is if I knit, it's kind of rhythmic. It's 18 stitches is a pattern, and it's repetitive. And I just found that calmed me down. And like if I fall asleep when I'm knitting, it's not the end of the world. I can't believe the cats didn't come and say hi today. Cherub. Cherub, do you want to say hi? Welly. Where's Welly? Welly was here earlier on the couch and he was stepping on all my bags. He's making a lot of crinkling noises and I shoot him. I shoot him. I shoot him. So, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, the Be Well and Stitch movement. I think there's a hashtag, Be Well and Stitch. I'll put it here. If you don't know what that is, these are designers have created these free charts during this whole virus situation. And the idea was you'd have a free chart and maybe you would call your local NNS and order the supplies to stitch the design. And someone who can speak better to this would be Michelle Bendy on her Flosstube. You can go to the Keepsake Facebook page and they have been keeping them all there. They've been uploading them all, even Stephanie and Pam. Lots of people are talking about them. Lots of people are making them. Some of them are just beautiful, stunning designs. They're not very big. I've heard some people are making a whole bunch so they can have all these cute little pillows. And then, you know, they're going to put them on display. And so thank you to the designers and to Keepsakes and all those involved who put those together. Fantastic. So to wrap up this podcast, I just want to take a moment to say thank you to all those who've reached out to me to ask me how I'm doing, to say thank you for thinking about me. I'm fine. My family's fine. All my residents at work are fine. We have really great protocols in place, and everything's going really well in New Brunswick. We are definitely flattening, planking, all those words for the curve. We're doing well here. We're a smaller population here in New Brunswick, and I think that has helped out a lot. We're not like big urban areas like Toronto, Montreal. So I think that's been helpful in our case. So thank you to all that have been thinking about me. I want to, there's a lot of floss tubers out there that do work in healthcare. So I'm sending them all my best wishes and thanking them for all their work that they're doing out there. And, we're in this all together, and every day the news is getting better. So we just have to keep on it, keep on top of it. So thank you to you. If you like this type of floss tubing, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let all your friends know about me. And stay tuned. In a couple of days, there will be a Stitch Mania video to look forward to with all my with my lineup for Stitch Mania and some of the new starts I'm going to be doing this month. And that's it. Thanks so much. Take care of yourselves. I hope you're getting in some stitching time or knitting time or whatever it is that you like to do that helps you. And take care, and hugs and kisses, lots of love, keep safe. Until next time, bye.